Hi everyone, welcome back to the Now by the Crossbar podcast. I'm your host Daryl, and I'm here again with Nick. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, not too bad. Getting over the Fulham roller coaster as it is.
Still getting over it from the weekend.
Yeah,
That
we're nearly
loss.
there. We might be there on Sunday if we actually get a win.
Guys, this is another episode of Football Matters. We're going to talk about stuff happened during the week. It was last week actually. KSI acquired a 20% stake in non-league football club Dagenham Redbridge. Would you think that's a really good move? Obviously, it boosts the profile of the club. He's saying he wants to take him all the way to the Prem. What are you saying?
I mean, this is modern football in a nutshell now. You've seen it with Wrexham. I mean, could KSI be the answer, London's answer to Wrexham
Got the money.
story in a way? Yeah, exactly. Dagenham and Redbridge, they are a historic East London football club. Plying most of their trade in sort of League Two. I think they've been to League One before. I'm not too sure. You might be able to answer that in the comments, Daggers fans. But yeah, I mean, I've been down there a few times. They've got decent fans. The ground is okay. They've fallen a bit in the last
Last few
couple of
years.
couple of years. Yeah, they've gone down the leagues. I think it's good. Some fans might disagree. The older school type fans might disagree with that, but if an investor's coming in to pump into the football club and he says he's got a plan to take them to the Prem, ASI, massive,
It's huge,
figure in the UK. I remember he got his name from FIFA with bloody Emil
bro.
Heskey, so whether you like the guy or you don't, I actually don't really have an opinion on him. I think he's okay. He's
You're right.
nice enough bloke. Yeah, it's a good thing for that football club in terms of financial wise. I think they need it. Yeah, if there's any Dagenham and Redbridge fans that watch us or non-league fans in general, let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. Listen, I know he obviously come from the stream biz. He does. I saw it earlier, and he's got like 1 billion music streams. He's obviously does the Misfits boxing. He's massive. He's got what I have seen of him. Obviously, moving on from the YouTube stuff, he's got real good business acumen. So if you look at all his projects, Prime Drinks, all these things, they're all massive out there. And I think he bring in his name and his audience alone to that club, puts in the spotlight. I don't think any small club, because let's be honest, they are a non-league club. So I don't think any small club can say anything really. That's huge for them. That's going to put them on the map. Even if you can get them up 2 divisions compared to where they are now, get them to do a mini revival, get them into the football league. Something like that can just boost that. Yeah, I think it's really good for them. Yeah, it looks like he's going to pump. Listen, with someone like him, when someone sees him attached to a brand, there's gonna be others coming. They're gonna be someone else. He's only acquired 20% stake. Someone else will jump in, just like how you had with Tom Brady with Birmingham. I know they're a different level, but from time one comes in, the other one's like, what's going on over there? And they all start want to jump in. Before you know it, we can have another battle of non-league clubs. Because this was Wrexham 6, 7 years ago, wasn't it? When they first came in. So you don't know what's going to happen. But big up any Dagenham fans. Talk to us. Let us know if you think it's a good idea. If you're happy. I think he lost his first game. I think so. Let
Let
us
him
know.
know.
Let us
Let him
know if
know how
you're
to
happy
pronounce.
with the investment.
Let him know how to pronounce Dagenham and Redbridge as well.
Dagenham and Redbridge fans, any fans out there, if you're happy or you're not happy, tell us. Some people, like you said, some people might just think this is all a gimmick. They don't like the spotlight. They don't like all the bright lights on their club. Some people would relish that and think, look, you're putting a spotlight in a part of London that doesn't really get that much spotlight. You know what I'm saying? A club that's in the non-leagues. Big up, man. Big up to the area. Big up to KSI for. I like when we put into. Okay, he's probably not from that area, but you're putting him back into where you come from, into London, into the clubs. Do you know what I'm saying? England. He could have gone and invested in a USA team or somewhere else, couldn't he? But he didn't. He invested in London. So yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, 100%. I think also shirt sales will increase.
Definitely.
You'll get a lot of people maybe, supporting the club because of KSI. You'll get a lot of tourist fans. You get a lot of people spending money and,
It all
either
helps.
that be
It all
on
helps. It
merch.
raises the profile of the whole club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, big. Okay, we cannot go any further on this podcast without talking about the mistakes. Kinski, the Tottenham goalkeeper. I'm going to start you off and say, look, Igor Tudor made a massive mistake. We heard that he had problems with Vicario in the game before that. He was going to drop him for the Alice game. Sorry, he didn't. He played him, but then he dropped him. He gave Kinski he's 22 years old. He gave him his Champions League debut in one of the biggest games of the season away at Atletico Madrid. And personally, I think that was quite ignorant. I think that's trying to be the big man. I'm going to step in there and I'm going to do what I want. And I think he's got the wrong call there, bro. It's just a mess. It's just bad call, man. Bad call, bro.
100%. You know my thoughts on Igor Tudor. I think he's an absolute novice. such a stupid individual. It's unbelievable to put a goalkeeper that young in an important game like that. The lad is embarrassed. I mean, he shouldn't have been picked. It should have been as much as Vicario is bad in form. He should have stuck with him.
You can't change him that fast.
Yeah. You can't change it. You know, he's had the worst 17 minutes of his life. I think it was 17 and he was subbed off. They've conceded 4 in 23 minutes. It's just not on. Look, I'm no Spurs fan. You all know I'm a Fulham supporter, but Spurs fans, even in your predicament at this moment in time, to be 4-0 down in any game is absolutely disgusting. I feel that I do feel sorry for Spurs fans in a way. That guy has got to go if Spurs are to maintain or retain their Premiership status next year. If that novice does not get out of that club, they
Yeah,
are a sinking ship at the moment, and they're
100% I
going
agree.
down. They're going
100%.
down. Tottenham fans, we want to hear from you. I know the majority of you are not at all best pleased with Igor Tudor's tenure at the club. I think you guys need to get in a Robbie Keane, a Glenn Hoddle, someone that's a legend of the club, knows the club. Even a Tim Sherwood, Harry
Bring back
Redknapp.
Tim Sherwood. He's got that authority
Yeah,
there. I'm telling you.
yeah.
Put them in their place. There's too many of those guys. Some of those Tottenham players, they need to take accountability. I know Tudor's effing up, but before he came along, those players are not playing like Premier League players. They're not taking accountability of themselves. And Romero, the captain, should be grabbing those guys by the neck and saying, "Listen, guys, come on, stop. Let's put it out there for the fans. Let's give it a bit of effort for the fans because at the moment they're just getting walked over left, right, and centre, and there's no answers, bro. There's nothing coming from anyone.
And I will make a bold statement here. If Tottenham Hotspur get relegated from the Premier League this season, they will not come back for a long time. You've seen it happen with Leeds. It's happened with Fulham, where Fulham were naive and they bought in a load of under 21s players to play in the Championship. It doesn't work out. See, with clubs, especially Tottenham, they've never been relegated from the Premier League, so they don't know how difficult it is to climb back out of that Championship. So if you go down this season, guys, I hate to break it to you, it's not going to be a walk in the park, and you will suffer in that division, and you'll rot.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Tudor is way out of his depth. I don't know what the board even thought. I think that's a bit of negligence there from the board to go and get that guy to bring him into your club. No Premier League experience, as in managerial experience, nothing like that. I just think it's just a joke to get him in. And they were in a bad position before. Now they're in an even worse position. I just don't know. I agree with you, Nick. If they don't get rid of him before the next game or Liverpool on weekend, even after
Yeah,
that, they've got no chance with this guy. He's taking them down. It's just, mate, it's getting worse. So yeah, like I said, he's got to go. They've got to get someone in. Like, listen, we were talking about don't get Harry. Harry's 79 or whatever. Bring back Harry. Harry would
yeah,
motivate
we'll
the
change our
players.
mind on that.
I've changed my mind. I said earlier on other pods, I said Harry's too old. Listen, bring Harry back. He'll get a tune out of him more than this flipping guy. This guy is ruining your club. Tottenham fans,
Oh,
you must, like Nick said, this is a joke. This guy, he is a novice. He's acting like a novice. Forget all the names of Juventus, all this nonsense. Why is he available? Because Juventus sacked him in his first season. Think about that.
he's got no rapport with the players. I think the board chose him after too many whiskies. I really do. I don't know why you'd hire that incompetent pillock.
Here's a joke though.
That's just what can I say? I'm stuttering because I've just got no words. How you would hire a manager with no Premier League pedigree. Don't get me wrong. Look, there's plenty of teams that have hired, right, but they've done their research. Keith Andrews, for example, going a little bit off track, but Spurs panic bought that manager in and gone. Well, he's available. He's managed Juventus. We'll get him in, and they've done that on that reason alone. They've not done any research. They could have had, I don't know, a number two interim manager for a little while and then chosen, but they haven't done that, and they've been very negligent, and it could cost the football club their status in the top flight.
It's the Premier League. Well, here's a joke though. Today they've been linked with none other than Mr. Sean Dyche.
Hey,
Yeah.
could it get worse than that? Bloody hell!
Can't get worse than Tudor, can it?
Sean Dyche is not the man you want.
No, he's
That,
not. But he can't be worse. He's not. But he can't be worse than Tudor. Come on, I'll take Dyche over Tudor every day.
but has he got what it takes to get
Well, not
in the
authority to
remaining
do
games
so.
some points?
Not
No,
authority to do
exactly.
so.
So, it's kind of doing the same. It's kind of testing the same electrical appliance that's broken and expecting it to work. Do you know what I mean? It's just not, it's like trying to plug in a broken washing machine and it keeps blowing up every time. No, Sean Dyche is definitely not the answer for Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs fans, we want to hear from you. Who do you guys think should come in? We've said our suggestions. We want to hear yours. Make sure you put them in the comments.
Pep Guardiola got schooled last night by Arbeloa, the Real Madrid manager, temporary manager. Real Madrid 3, Man City 0, and that was very disappointing. Man City, I don't know if they underestimated him. Personally, I think that Rodri is not at that level. He tried to play Rodri as a single pivot. I don't think away at Real Madrid, you've got to go double pivot. I would have played Nico Gonzalez next to him, so he's got some legs around him. We know Rodri, since he's come back from his injury, he's not been the same player, but to be a Real Madrid and playing one single pivot, he hasn't got the legs for that. They were just running through him all the time. What happened? What is Pep thinking?
Man City were absolutely abolished last night.
Abysmal, mate.
They underestimated Real Madrid. Real Madrid can turn it on like a flick of a switch. And Valverde, I think he had the best performance in the competition and possibly the best performance of the season. He scored a hat-trick. He didn't give them any respect whatsoever. He just smashed through their midfield all night. And that is one hell of a player. His third goal.
That
That's
last
something
goal. Jeez.
that's something you see on bloody FIFA, mate. Come on now. That was a fantastic goal. Man City fans, let us know in the comments below.
Can you
Did
bring
you
it back? That's the question.
can you bring it back? And did you expect to lose by that much? If there's any Real Madrid fans, I'm sure there's some. There's the biggest, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Can you go all the way? Can you win it? I mean, I certainly think it's between them and Bayern Munich. And the dark horses I've got for the Champions League is I don't know if you'll agree, but Bodo Glimt.
They
That'll
won't
be
fall
my
over.
dark horse. Dark horse. I'm not saying they'll win it, but I'm saying that they're the outsiders to get the smallest team to get the furthest.
Yeah, Man City was shocked last night. I think the players looked shocked at that result. At time they were 2-0 down, they were looking in the first half, they were looking at each other like, what's going on here? Haaland looked uninterested. We talked about Haaland against Liverpool, was one of his best games. He looked uninterested last night. Doku shouldn't be anywhere near the pitch. I don't know why Doku's on. Why didn't he start Ryan Churchy? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Pep, he has these moments, doesn't he, in these big Champions League games where he picks his odd squads or he leaves players out, doesn't he? It's like he tries to shock the opponent by not playing someone. So
Semenyo was good.
Semenyo was decent. And who else?
Not really anyone else. Man City's. I must admit though, Man City's kit was on fire. I like their green kit.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah.
But yeah, Newcastle won, Barca won. I felt sorry for Newcastle. Newcastle deserved the victory in that game. I thought Barca didn't play well and they nicked it in a penalty. Lamar with a penalty right at the end of the game, and it's a shame really because you kind of think, I'm not saying Newcastle can't go there win. It's really difficult for them to go through now. You'd think if they've got 1-0 up, they've got something to go there and protect, and you're going to see Barca coming at them, so then they can hopefully catch them on the break and maybe nick another one, But desperately unlucky for Newcastle, man.
100%. Yeah, you know my thoughts on Barcelona. I did want Newcastle to win that, and obviously it's a draw. Can they go to the Camp Nou and secure a victory? I mean, stranger things have happened. I think they beat Barcelona years and years ago, didn't they?
A long
When
time
they were in
ago,
the
yeah.
Champions League, yeah. So I don't see why they couldn't do it again. Newcastle are a different team in the Champions League than they are domestically this season. I hope they do.
Yeah.
I think, Barcelona, status of their club, their players, I think they just edge it for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think what I was thinking about earlier, I was thinking the Newcastle fans must be thinking, like, seeing a great performance like that, they must be thinking, why can't you do this consistently in the Prem?
Yeah.
Also, one of the best, obviously, La Liga champions at the moment, reigning champions, and they're top of the league still. And you're thinking, you've gone toe to toe with Barca. They're not funny. Newcastle didn't play. They had Asula up front. They didn't have Altamana. Didn't have Wissa. Gordon didn't start the match. There's a lot of they had good few players missing that run. Obviously, they played in the week as well. We talked about they played Man City in the FA Cup, so he said couldn't start everyone. So it's a bit weird. They must be pulling their hair out, thinking, where are these performers in the in the Premier League? Why can't you do this in the Premier League? And they'd be so much higher in the league if they could be more consistent and put in more performances like that. You shouldn't be the big nights, the big floodlight Champions League nights for you to put on your best performance. You should be better than that. You should be doing more than that.
100%, but I think because they're in the Champions League, like you said a few weeks ago, the squad depth is just not there. They can't compete in all of those competitions. Your FA Cups, your Carabaos, the Premier League. and now the Champions League with that squad that they've got. And obviously, if they go out and spend loads of money, they're going to get hit with PSR. I don't know. I think, is it time for them to move on from Eddie Howe? Newcastle fans, let us know in the comments below.
They all say he's got credit in the bank. I don't know if the owners think that though.
The thing is, it's all well and good giving a manager the tools, but
It's tough.
I
Eddie
don't
Howe's a
know.
great coach. He's the best English coach in the Prem. There's
Oh,
no
he
point
is
saying that.
one
I'm just saying, I
hundred
don't know if
percent.
their
Yeah,
owners will be happy with them finishing 12th or 13th. I don't know wherever they finish, especially below Sunderland, who've just come up. I think that highlights and makes it worse. Your local rivals, they're above you. They've just come up from the Championship after being at the Premier League for how many years, and they're above you. You
and
know,
they lost to him as well.
they lost to him as well, but they've got the rematch coming up soon. But yeah,
Yeah, Liverpool losing out narrowly to Galatasaray. Thing is, with Galatasaray, they perform well at home in Europe because of their atmosphere.
the culture, it's just so hard down there, man.
Yeah, it's no doubt that their ground, they are the 12th man. I'm hoping one day that I actually get to visit that stadium. I'd love to go there for a game. But yeah, Liverpool this season they've just been disappointing
Yeah,
all
we were
all, all
disappointed.
round.
We were disappointed, very disappointed. I was disappointed with the result. I was disappointed with the referee, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to blame on the refereeing, but the refereeing was disappointing as well. There was certain times near the end of the game they're just throwing themselves on the floor, and then you forget. You think they're such a good team, and you think to yourself they just let themselves down sometimes when you see that. Do you know what I mean? They just. I know we all time waste. Everyone does it, but it's just disappointing. And I thought the ref was kind of weak. Had a goal disallowed. Unfairly in my eyes, I'm going to say that, but they had one disallowed, which was weird as well because the guy wasn't in an offside position. I don't know if you saw that one, and it was just. But Kanate is one of the worst centre back performances I've seen at Liverpool for. I'm talking way back in. We're talking Julian Dix times. We're talking way when we had Neil Ruddock and Julian Dix as our centre back.
Oh dear, that was a long time ago. The 90s, the early.
That's how bad that performance was. For the first half an hour, everything that went wrong was Konate's fault. Honestly, he was chasing shadows, mate. I don't know what he was on, but I don't want him to start any more games. Don't want him to start any more games for Liverpool. He said he's leaving. Just go now.
Yeah, do you think it's time for him to move on? Do you think
Well,
where
no,
where
he's
does he
leaving.
go?
His contract's up. He said he's leaving. He's not signing. So don't play him anymore because he doesn't want to play. In my
Where's
eyes.
he? Where do you think he heads?
Well, they reckon PSG or Real Madrid. It's a free transfer. Anyone would take a punt on him, wouldn't they? Bayern. Anyone would take a punt on him, really. So he can go. Like he's won a title with us. He's done all right for us. Time to move
Time
on.
to move on. Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
it's just like that.
Slot maybe time to move on at the end of the season as well.
But looking ahead to next week, though, Wolves away at Brentford on Monday. Can Wolves carry on that amazing form and get a win? Because Brentford are tough. But Brentford, they've kind of like started conceding a lot more goals recently. They were a lot more solid earlier on in the season. They started to concede a few, as they did the other day. I think they won 3-4-3, I think it was, wasn't it?
They got dumped out in the FA Cup. Just thought I'd
Yeah.
get that one. I just thought I'd get that one in there.
But yeah, I wonder what Wolves can do on Monday night. That'd be interesting to see that because Wolves have been really good of late.
Yeah, they're playing for pride, so there's no pressure on them to play football. So that's why maybe the results are coming in that way.
Did you see that? You mentioned it to me that the 23-man brawl in Brazil.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
It's mental, mate. Just like I don't know. I don't know. Hulk was
My
in there. I didn't even know. I thought Hulk was retired.
my mate, he sent me the video. I watched it. I couldn't believe it. Apparently, all the players turned up next day for training, and it looked like they'd been in a brawl with a couple of UFC fighters. I mean, that's crazy. If I ever go to Brazil and I get the pleasure of witnessing that, I'll tell you what, I would have got my money's worth. But that's just crazy. You would never get away with that in the Premier League or any other league.
It's crazy.
Um, they'll obviously be dealt with accordingly, fined and handed suspensions. But yeah, I mean, do you know what? On the flip side of it, there is still that passion in the game. And obviously, the Brazilian league, it's not one of the best leagues in the world, but I'd say outside of Europe, it's watched, especially when tourists go to Brazil. They might go and watch the Fluminenses or the Chapecoenses or the Atletico Mineiros of the Brazilian world, Santos, teams like that. So it's definitely an entertaining league, and I'm sure a lot of people pay close attention now with that
Yeah.
23-man brawl.
But outside of Europe, it's definitely the biggest league out there because if you realise they've got a lot of money in that league that's been pumped in the last few years.
Yeah.
If you saw the other day, that obviously they've got Memphis Depay is there. He's went there. Jesse Lingard's recently signed to his team as well.
Yeah, Corinthians. Yeah, you got Willian. You got Willian there. You got Carlos Vinicius at Gremio. You got Andreas Pereira, the
Ex
Brazilian
Fulham,
front.
ex Man
Yeah,
United.
all ex Fulham. They're all going out there.
But yeah, like I said, the league's got a lot of money now, and Botafogo's got a lot of money. The league generally, he's overtaken that. As you can see, they won their version of the Champions League, the South American version. Obviously,
Yeah,
they won that as well. So compared to the Argentinian league, we're back in there, it was Boca Juniors and River Plate. That's long gone those days now. You know, a lot of it's just the Brazilian teams are just Fluminense, your Palmeiras, they're just dominating those leagues.
yeah. I'd love to go there.
Even teams from like Chile and that are just representing now as well. A lot more from those countries, Ecuador and stuff. But Brazilian league's
Mexico as well.
huge. Mexico, yeah. Brazilian league's huge. A lot of money's been pumped in, and it's probably the biggest league outside of Europe, to be honest. Big.
I've got one more topic to discuss. What do you think about Iran
In the
coming out
World
of the
Cup.
World Cup? Yeah, I mean it's pretty controversial, and I think we're treading on fine water with it politically. I can see why. Um, they've resigned from going into the competition because obviously it's being played in America and
Yeah,
what else is
I
going
think that's
on.
fair. I think you have to. I think on a moralistic standpoint, you kind of have to do that. You couldn't go in if it wasn't in America, then in the US, then you could probably think, okay, if it's in Europe, we can do that. But if it's you're going into their country, it's not a good look. It's not a good idea. I think I think you kind of have
Have you
to.
seen the two teams that are going to replace them?
No, I haven't. No.
It's either Iraq or Italy.
Okay, well, if it's Italy, it helps with our World Cup draft series that we're doing at the moment. But if it's not, I don't know about any Iraqi players. But yeah. Listen, I want Italy to be there. If Italy don't qualify or don't get there, I think they've still got a qualification match, haven't they? This would be the third big tournament that they've missed. You know that. What's happened to Italian football? Like Italian Serie A fans, talk to us. What has happened to Italian football? The demise of Italian football. Growing up as a kid, I loved Gazzetta football Sunday mornings. I can't think of the program name. There was a name.
Channel 4, Italia, yeah, Italia something.
Italia. I can't think of the guy's name. He's got his own podcast now. That was just huge watching Italian football. I grew up on that football, and it's a shame, It's just it's just a shame what's happened to the league. They had a problem with they demoted Juventus a few years ago, and I think when you do things like that, and I think that's probably why the Premier League are so hesitant in not demoting Man City, but coming down them like a ton of bricks because
Yeah,
realize that if we do that, we're going to damage this product, which is meant to be which is the biggest, not the best league in the world. I wouldn't always say that, but it's the most watched league by a mile in the world. The most interest is on the Premier League, and I think that's why the Premier League are hesitant to punish Manchester City so badly because they know they're going to damage their product. They're damaging their product. But I respect Italy because when they found Juventus were cheating, they demoted them 2 divisions. Remember Del Piero said, "You don't leave your old lady," stuff like those quotes. I respect him for that, but they didn't care. And I respect them so much for that because they knew it would affect their league, but they thought, right, we were going to do what's right on a moralistic point of view, and those championships got stripped. And I respect them for that because that's what they should be doing to City, but it's not going to happen. That's what should happen to City.
well, 100%. And I also think why Italy are not doing well at major tournaments now is because the Italian FA, they're not investing in the youth academy products. So say like, I'll say this, Como. I think they've got one Italian player in the whole of their squad. Now, for me, that team should be 65, 70% Italian, but it's not. It's more or less 95% players from overseas because they're trying to build that commercial brand and they're trying to get in, you know, names and faces for their brand. Football has become a brand now. The days of players playing for pride and playing for the shirt are well and truly over. And that's my thoughts on the decline in the Italian national team.
But yeah, anyone that watches Italian football, that likes Italian football, get at us. Let us know why you think this is happening. Not being funny, Inter Milan are top of the Italian league. They just got rinsed by Bodo Glimt at home. They got trashed over 2 legs. And I'm sorry, but that's embarrassing for a club the stature of
Yeah,
Inter Milan to lose to Bodo Glimt. I'm not throwing shade at Inter Milan. I'm just saying that's embarrassing because they're Inter a massive team. Look at the players they've got, the quality they've got in that squad on the bench, the amount of money that's been spent on that squad. I know Shivu is his first managerial position. Well, not my first managerial. It's his first big job at Inter Milan, but they've got to be expecting more than that. And top of the league, still getting spanked by Bodo. Bodo are obviously good. They won last night against Sporting, but that's disappointing to see that. So the demise of Italian football. talk to us. The other day they were saying if Atlanta didn't make it through to this round, it'd been the first time since I think the early 2000s that no Italian team would have made it to the knockout stages.
It's
Crazy.
disappointing. It's
Very
disappointing.
So talk to us, let us know what you think. Can you see it coming back to be one of the one of the big top 3 leagues in the world? Because at the moment there's other leagues overtaking it.
Yeah, it's going to take a few years.
Most definitely. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us again on Football Matters. And yeah, Nick, top man, appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Make sure you subscribe. We're nearly at 3K, and we need your help to get to that next step. We're doing really, really well, and thanks for the support. And without you guys, we wouldn't be making the videos that we're making. So get subscribing, guys. Thanks
Yeah,
for the support.
most definitely. Big up, Nick. Yeah, nice. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.